Join us live on the Sherry Lord Talk Show podcast. Start your day off with the Higher Vibrational Podcast with weekly guests covering spirituality, healthy foods, and so much more. Go to sherrylord.com for more info. Every Tuesday, and for following us, please like us and share our page. We have a very special guest today, and she's wonderful. Her name is Shannon McLaughlin. We love her. She's beautiful. She's a psychic medium and a massage and so much more. She's a wonderful teacher. Welcome, Shannon. We're so happy to have you on our show.
Hey Sherry, thanks for letting me be here and just allowing myself to express myself. It's truly a blessing. So thank you.
Yeah, can you tell our audience a little bit about you? And we want to talk about the childhood trauma. And there's a lot of
Okay.
people that had trauma in their life. A lot of
Yeah,
people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a psychic medium, so that means that I'm able to connect with spirit. So I'm able to connect with ancestors and your loved ones who have passed away, angels, ascended masters. And I'm also able to tap into your lives and any situation, topic, dynamics in your life and bring through clarity and direction on your path. Um, so my journey started back in 2015. Oh, I got the chills. Okay. So my journey started back in 2015 when my mom had passed away. And after that, it kind of just sent me on to a journey of self-discovery. There is a new world that kind of opened up for me, and I just became completely aware of the energetics and the
Oh,
realms
wow.
of kind of the unseen. And um, so through that period, it's actually funny. I'll kind of go into, I was working at Starbucks at the time, and I
Oh,
had a woman come through the drive-through, and my head started spinning. And I was like, intuitively, I just felt like I knew that there was someone who passed away tragically. And so when she came out to the window, I had felt I could, at that time, for whatever reason, could feel that it was a masculine. And it just felt like this bubble that I became aware of around me that kind of almost blocked the outside world that got my
yeah.
attention. And so when the woman came up to the window, um, I looked at her and I said, "Ma'am, would you be open to a message?" And she said, "Yes." And I was like, I don't know if you lost someone tragically, a male specifically, but I just want you to know that he's here. And her eyes got super big, and she put a $10 tip in the tip jar. And at that point, I
Wow.
knew that is something, that's kind of how my journey started into mediumship.
Wow.
Um, so through that process, I started, giving free readings in exchange for reviews for about a year, and I've been doing it ever since. But, for the past 10 years, I have been on a journey of reclaiming aspects of myself that have become maybe, distorted growing up because I've been through so much trauma, aside from my mom passing. I had parents who were addicts, and went into foster care, and then my grandmother had raised me and my brother, and she wasn't always the kindest woman to me, so I had to really, I was very much shunned or made to be
Yeah.
silent. I wasn't able to express myself,
Yeah.
and it created a lot of angst and anger within me. And
Yeah.
and I saw my parents a handful of times out of the years where they struggled with recovery. And so, I've been through quite a bit of initiation. So, I lost my mom in 2015. It's not just childhood, it's my whole life, and I got into a bad car accident and 2021, and then I just lost my dad this February. So, all of these experiences have really allowed me to kind of dig deep within myself to makes me emotional, but dig deep to almost remove veils that are not true about myself, like
Yeah.
I it's really put me on a path of, I feel like I'm becoming who I really am and who I'm meant to be, right? So I've really had to learn how to let go. When you think about it, when you're born and you come out of the womb, you're perfect, right? Your soul, your essence is there. And then as you grow older, part of the puzzle, there are like these distorted, distortions that take place. Like pieces end up going in the wrong place in the puzzle, or there are pieces that go missing, right? And some of that could be because of other people's projected shame, or, abandonment, or some sort like sexual childhood abuse, or, little things like that that could take place. And those are the type of clients that I attract, right? And that I help guide. So essentially, what it is that I do, and what I've for others, and what I've had to work on within myself, is to sort of recalibrate and look at the whole picture and put the
Mhm.
pieces back together where they belong, and to reclaim those missing aspects of self so that I could be in my power and to show up in the world and be able to do what it is that I do and to help people. So it has been life changing for me. And I just feel so honored to be able to help guide people in this way as well. So,
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, you've been through a lot, but a lot of people
mhm.
can relate in different parts of what you're speaking of.
Sure,
Is
sure.
there, yeah, and everybody has their own journey and
Mhm.
everybody has their own experiences in life. And how much is forgiveness part of this on your journey?
Wow, that just gave me the chills. You know what? I think the biggest aspect is the forgiveness of self,
Yeah, yeah,
forgiving the self, because all of the things that have happened to us, we can't control other people's actions and what they
yeah,
do. But what we can do is we get to dictate um, how much power they have over our own lives. And
yeah,
and that's what I mean about the self-reclamation, is that forgiveness isn't about others, it's about ourselves and coming back into wholeness. And um, I would say it is so crucial for development and for to be able to expand. If we're walking around with resentment, or, blaming others, and
or a
here's the thing,
wound. Yeah,
they're not, what they did was wrong, 100%. Like, but also the poison is in the blame, is in the resentment, and the unforgiveness, and how it just sits in our body. And so I also do body work as well,
yeah,
massage. Yeah, so I'll be in Siesta Key doing that work. But what I notice, and when people come in and they lay on my table, um, people who come in for sciatica or low back pain, oftentimes they're living in a state of fight or flight most of their life. Like, go, 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 because people are, what I really feel, is they're avoiding sitting with themselves. And so, that's why it's like the body's screaming at you to get your attention, because we're needing, in order to live like at full capacity and our full vitality, to be, and we need to be living in our bodies, grounded and present. And I think most of the world is just so not present. And so I
mhm,
know, growing up for myself, because I experienced sexual abuse as a young child, um, and through those experiences, I learned how to live outside of my body. And,
okay,
I've been, again, within these past 10 years, have been on a journey of reclaiming myself, but also learning how to reconnect with my body and remember that it's safe to be in it, and to be grounded in it. And I think that was also played like a huge part in the healing. And also I used to be a runner. I love, love, love to run. I
wow,
can't anymore because I hurt my foot, but it was also just so
uh,
symbolic that there was a part of me that was like running from the pain, and
mhm,
running from, all of the trauma, the memories, and the moment that, it's actually wild, but I was on the table. I had just gotten my Reiki master certification, and I had a woman working on me, and she got down to my sacral area, and she said, "I smell cigarette smoke." And I said, "Me too." And I just had a memory come up of when I had been sexually abused, and I just started bawling. Like, I didn't remember that it happened to me. And so she helped me unearth that aspect of myself to, one, it was hard. I was in shock. Like, I couldn't even believe that I didn't have this memory. But, you know, um, I ended up reaching out to a woman that I had met a couple years prior. I went to a sweat lodge, and that's
Okay.
where I actually met the next like mentors of my journey. 2 years later. But I rekindled with her and I asked her, "Have you ever been through this?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "I need help." And here's the thing, we cannot do it by ourselves. Like, I would not be here today where I am if I did not reach out and ask for help. And so I met with her for 4 sessions. She did like sort of psychic stuff like we do, and the massage and the Reiki. So a combination of actually what I'm stepping into and what I'm doing in the world as well. And she I just those sessions were so transformative that I mean it changed my life. I actually during that time I ended up going to school for massage because of the impact that it had on my mind and my body and my
Oh,
spirit. And so that's how I ended up. I've done a lot of different things. I've focused a lot on the external, like how can I heal? I tried yoga, and went and did a vision quest, and massage and Reiki and all of these things, which are so amazing and have been beautiful tools for me to utilize, but also to help, other people in the process. Um, and so that's kind of where I ended up today, and that's what
um,
I'm doing. So yeah.
yeah, you've been on. It's good. That's really good advice that people need to reach out. That there are tools. They can use books. They can reach
Mhm.
to Reiki. You got
Yeah.
massage that helps release, the
Hmm.
cellular memories that are there,
Yes,
and
yes.
the help in the healing.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people with many modalities that can help, and there's channels who help. People who do
Mhm.
readings, and I
Sure.
think this is wonderful. It feels like you're very more well-rounded with your experience and the help that you got that uplifted you as you uplifted others, together at
Exactly.
the same
Yes.
time.
Yes, exactly. And what's wild too is I feel like people even have, um people have this idea that I have to be healed to be able to go, and but like no, like
Yeah,
I'm not a perfect person. I get up and I have struggles every day, and just like everybody else. And I want people to know that I feel like oftentimes in this work people can put you on a pedestal and they don't really see things clearly as the way that it is. Like, I'm just a
mhm,
human being, right, who has been through
yeah,
things. And but also I want to help normalize the struggles like that. We are
yeah,
amazing and we are perfect, just as we are. And yes, we have things that we need to work through, but also there's nothing shameful about the shadow aspects of
yeah,
self. And I also help people, integrate our humanness. Like, we didn't come here to
mhm,
be perfect. I've struggled with
yeah,
perfectionism in my life as well. Um, and and it's just not real. And I always say to people too, it's like, you could be panhandling naked on the side of the road and you would still have value. You're still amazing. And I think, I just think all of us need to remember where we come from, like, the who we were created to be. And I think, when we come out of the womb and we have other people projecting things onto us, or, learning programming from our parental
yeah.
figures, our
Release the old
peers,
programming. Mhm.
society. Yeah, it just really takes us away from who we are. And so I really want to help people kind of get back into the body and ground into their essence, help them remember. And in order to do that, it takes a lot of awareness, a lot of having to have such deep compassion, love, and surrender, and yourself and your journey. And really it's all about the journey. It's about what you're doing today. We've talked about that earlier, about presence. And it's not about the end goal. It really
Yeah,
isn't. And I've also learned how, going through such traumatic experiences, losing both of my parents, gosh, that rocked me so hard, so deeply. And I know other people can really resonate with that, with losing a parent or a family member. Um, but it taught me really how to be present with my own pain. And I don't know, I think it's just made me just a really, it makes you realize like what matters and what's important in life. You know, it's not
Yeah.
about all the materialistic aspects of the world, but about presence, about community, about people that we care about, you know, people that we love. And I know that through my life, I struggled with, CPTSD, right? Which is kind of, I've really struggled with allowing myself to come out into community and to be open and put myself out there because of what I've been through. And I want people to know that they can find safety in their body again. You know, that they can be who they really are, and they can reclaim aspects of self that have been taken from them, or, you know, that we've rejected. So that's kind of the
Yeah,
gist of,
you're right. It's about
yeah,
being safe. A lot of people don't feel safe in the body. They're usually out of
yeah,
body, they're not fully in
yeah,
the body. And
yeah,
yeah, and reclaiming their power back was a good one you had mentioned too, because it's claiming your power back,
yeah, yeah. Um,
and your innocence. Yeah.
yeah, your innocence. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's a good point. You know, a lot of this too is like there are people, you know, and what I've experienced is, you know, extreme neglect, you know, abandonment, and as a child, and even being violated by people that you're supposed to trust, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
that creates like a foundation for you and moving forward in your life. And so mine was completely just destroyed. And but you know, part of this journey as well, like what I've had to do is go back, and I've had to mother and father the little girl in a way that I was never able to receive. And um gosh, I think, I mean, it's just such powerful work to be able to do something like that. And, you know, like even taking people under meditation, I've had people on my table where, you know, I kind of talk them into like, you know, they're in a meditative state, but I'm like, you know, um, I can feel aspects of self, like let's say the power center, right? Where I had a woman on my table and I felt like there was a part of her that maybe like a soul loss is kind of what I call it.
Mhm.
A part of her that had been kind of lost or floating or untethered from
Yeah.
her. And I said, you know, like, you know, what happened when you were 7 years old? And I said, I feel like there was something that happened around seven, that where your power was taken from you. Or, and then you know, I've had people on my table just, you know, just cry and
Yeah.
release that and feel that pain of maybe losing their voice or losing their power, and being able to allow them, to give them the opportunity to find their power and reclaiming that and taking that back, and going, like literally going to hold that little girl's or little boy's hand, and bringing them back. And I mean, and here's the thing too, it's like, you know, kids nowadays, I just feel so passionate about this because I don't want this to continue, right? These cycles of abuse and just wounds within our family systems, like let's say, you know, even addiction or alcoholism or even
Yeah.
sexual abuse, like it has to stop. Like we
Yep.
cannot continue this. And so I feel just so incredibly passionate about helping people move through this, but also offering them the tools and to be able to heal themselves, to feel empowered, so that, and also I have clients that are also healing themselves, but also healing their relationships with their kids. As they
Yeah.
change, so do their kids.
Yeah.
And we're not, you know, mothers, fathers, we don't have the book of life. We don't know
Yeah.
how to do it all, right? We all are just trying to figure it out. And like I think it's beautiful people that have children that want to better themselves and to not pass it on, and you know,
Yeah.
them even doing the work, like the foundational work, to not be able to do that, right? And they can be 8 years old still, you know, like growing up, and you can still heal that relationship. As you
Yeah.
heal, so does everybody else in your life. um when I, you know, started this journey, you know, I discovered that I was a psychic medium. You know, I didn't wake up one day and say, I'm going to try this. Like, no, I had experiences that scared me. If I'm being honest, when it first started, I was like, what is this? My GPS started taking me I feel like I'm all over the place, but my GPS was taking me down to graveyards, through graveyards, to churches. And I just knew that something higher was communicating with me. And I think we
Yeah.
all also have that ability to connect with spirit. Um, we're always being guided by something higher. And um, I had a point. I was going to say something else. I just don't remember what it was. Um, Oh, that's what I was gonna say. But people thought I was nutty, you know? My grandma was on the computer like, "Oh, signs of schizophrenia." And I'm like, whatever, you know. And I will say I was a bit ungrounded when I first started, because I lost my mom and I hadn't learned how to anchor my body, but now I'm at the point where I feel very secure and anchored. But through that process, um my brain's going so fast that I forget. Um, oh, yeah. So pretty much as I healed, people started opening up, like they weren't as like, oh, she's crazy. Like they started actually like listening to me. And I noticed that my relationships around me softened, family members and stuff like that. And how like the more harmony and connection that I had with myself, I was able to, working through all of the things, I was able to harmonize the relationships that I had in my life. And I also learned how to better communicate with people, and also figure out what people are good for me and who aren't. You learn who
Yeah.
your people are and who, because oftentimes that can be a really big um, barrier for us. We want to be around people that really see us, who acknowledge, um, who there's a resonance, and but I also feel like there's always something important to learn from the people that do create, like family members or that do create like friction, or there's always something to learn. And I feel like I'm just a forever student. I'm walking with people, as my clients come to me, I'm like, I always say like, let's work through this together. Like, um, and so as I heal others, I feel like I'm healing aspects of myself too. So yeah. Um,
Well, how is it sounds to me you were really getting really good at discernment with who you choose to spend time with, who you don't, or who you bring in
Absolutely.
your own circle.
Sure, sure.
And also boundaries. How did boundaries play a role with you? How did you use the boundaries? Yeah.
That's a good question. So, I've always been a people pleaser, wanting to please
Yeah.
everybody. I was so afraid of hurting other people, afraid of confrontation. I was just groomed very young to do that, and even through like sexual abuse, that really creates distortions for people around things like that. Um, so. But another reason why people do it, and I want people to be aware of this, is sometimes we're looking for validation or approval or love externally, right? From through people pleasing and thinking that we can gain something from like overcompensating. And what
Hmm.
that's really doing is you're emptying your cup and you're never going to get back what you feel
Hmm.
that you
Yeah.
need, because it's never enough, because within you don't feel like you're enough. Or so I've really had to work through feelings of that too, and knowing that I'm inherently worthy and valuable no matter what it is that I do. So actually, it's funny that you say that, because I've been working a lot on knowing that, embodying it. So I
Yeah.
know it's just the embodying aspect that can be a bit of a challenge. It takes time and awareness. But what's funny is I moved down here to Florida, and I'm in the family dynamic that I grew up in. So with my grandmother and my brother, and
Yeah.
my brother can do no wrong. He is amazing. I love him so much. But I was always the one that, was shamed or not given what I needed. Like I wasn't really given warmth. I had everything that I needed. My grandmother provided, and she's an awesome woman. But she just was not ever a very nurturing woman, and so that
Yeah.
was really hard for me. Um, so now that I'm in this dynamic, I am like first of all, oh my gosh, family can be a challenge, right? But also beautiful mirror. But what it made me realize was that, um, oh my gosh, like I've been giving my power away for so long, in these dynamics, and I've, had to start saying no, even when I
Yeah.
felt really upset about maybe disappointing them. And there was
Yeah.
some pushback, they were not very happy about it. So I have to listen to my body. Like, do I have space for this? And I find that the more that I am in that, right, the more that they respect it. At first, it was like,
Hmm.
oof, ouch, I don't like
Yeah.
this, push back. But now it's
Yeah.
like, it's because I don't need to say anything, but it's an energy that you give. It's like being in your power, right? And owning that. So there's a lot of uncomfortableness. There's also guilt that can be attached to
Yeah.
learning how to have boundaries when you've been a people pleaser most of your life. So, and here's the other thing too, codependency is a big one.
Yeah.
Codependency, which is a taught behavior, it's sort of it's kind of intertwined, but um, you know, I think I've been learning how to become like a sovereign being, my own
Yeah.
independent being and not feeling like I have to take care of everybody else.
Yeah.
Um, it's funny, Sherry, is the other day, actually it was a couple months ago when I first moved down here. I walked into a shit show, if I'm being honest. My brother had just gotten out of a relationship. They have a son together, and then my grandmother was having surgery. And I was staying over here at my other grandmother's house at the time. But I was sitting back in her lanai, and Christine, she is a distant relative of mine who had passed away quite a few years ago, had came to me in the breeze. I felt her in the wind. And she said to me, she said, oh, I got chills. She said, Shannon, you are doing a disservice to other people by not giving them the opportunity to learn how to show up for themselves. And I was like, oh, I have chills saying that. And so essentially I feel like, and that's codependency, feeling like other people, like I have to fix or save. And I'm learning how to get out of that,
Yeah.
out of that mode of knowing that people are fully well equipped to be able to take care of themselves. And, um, but it's also like, it's a big contrast. I've done that my whole life. So what is life without doing that? Right. And so, again, I'm human, still navigating things, but also normalizing it. And then there's nothing shameful about it.
Yeah.
And um, so I think I'm really learning that about boundaries now. And it takes awareness, and here's the thing, is you're going to have every day something come up, and you get to choose differently around your boundaries.
Mhm.
It's not oh, I got this figured out forever. No, it's the rest of your life where you get to decide what the parameters are around your boundaries
Mhm.
and how to project that. So that's a beautiful topic. And um, yeah,
How can we just want to thank you. You shared so much
yeah,
with our audience too, Shannon.
yeah. Thank
But
you.
how can people get a hold of you? You do
Sure. So,
readings, you do massage. How can people get
yeah.
a hold of you? And if you're in a location, let them know where you're at.
Okay, so my psychic mediumship, I have a website, which is www.psychicmediumshannon.com. And then I also have my Gmail that you can reach out to. It's Shannon Nicole, Nicole, MCL, like my last name McLaughlin, but just MCL at gmail.com. And also my phone number, you can always text me, call me at 540-907-9819. And then also here, I'll be working at Siesta Key giving massages.
Hmm.
It's called Spa Experience. So you can come find me there as well.
Oh, amazing. Are you there certain days of the week or that just depends on the week?
Yeah, that's a good question. So as of right now, I'll be there on Fridays, Saturdays, and Mondays. So I won't be starting until the end of this month. But those are the days that I'll be working. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So we just
Yeah.
want to say thank you, Shannon, for being on our show. We
Yeah.
greatly love having you and we'll have you back on.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
anybody, yes, thank you. We appreciate everything you've shared with our audience and everything they've learned. And I think this is great because a lot of people can relate to childhood trauma and dynamics in families. And, how do you heal? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? And I think
Yeah,
this is good. It's living, it's life,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you're finding your freedom, your joy, and everything. And this is great, because
yeah,
that's the journey is your own individual journey,
yeah.
and everybody has their own experiences. And I just
Mhm.
want to say thank you for being on our show. And we also have our information. If you didn't get it all or wrote it down, go to www.sherrylord.com. We have Shannon right there and all her info. You can just click on it and you can go right to her or call her. Um, Also, anybody that wants to place an ad on our show, go to www.sherrylord.com and the information's there, or you can call me. We just bless you and bless all in our prosperity and abundance and blessings to all in their journey. Thank you for watching us. We'll see you next week, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
International psychic medium and podcast host Sherry Lord. She is one of the most sought after psychic mediums. Book your special readings. Go to www.sherrylord.com.